so.
Desserts aren't always right.
But they're so sweet.
Christian Arcand.
What makes you the authority, brah?
Christian and King.
I know what the goodies.
Welcome to the Goody Room.
Weekdays noon to 3 on ESPN New Hampshire Radio. Streaming live on ESPNNewHampshireRadio.com.
So what? So what? So let's dance.
Now, here's Christian Arcand and Tom King.
Hour number 2, Christian and King. No King today, just Christian. It's going to be like this all week, folks, so get used to it. 603-883-9900 is your phone number, 883-9900. Text in 50352. You want to share your thoughts on the Red Sox? I'm sure they're not very good. If there's anyone out there that still believes in the Red Sox this year, I would love to hear from you. And I don't mean that sarcastically, like I'm going to crap all over you for still believing in the Red Sox. I'm not going to do that. Right now, I'm in a very dark place with the Red Sox. I would like some optimism infused into my day, if you can muster it. Because it's not going to be coming from these airwaves, folks. Not out of my mouth today. No way. Not even close. It's quite the opposite, as a matter of fact. We're going to put Red Sox talk on hold here for a minute as the NBA free agency continues to rumble along. Not a whole lot of big news coming out today, aside from the fact that Gary Zen of Boston.com now covering a story that was broken yesterday, or no, it was broken today, as a matter of fact, by Gary Washburn, that Danny Ainge now trying desperately to acquire not just Kevin Love, but basically to acquire pieces that they can then package together and flip for Kevin Love, which sort of seems like, I mean, yeah, it's a step, and it's probably a necessary step at this point. But when Danny Ainge was acquiring all of these draft picks and all of these things and trying to put together a nice trade package for this offseason, which I believe is what, the main goal of this whole thing was to get all these draft picks and to get, down low and to be able to flip all of these for a franchise-changing player. How did he not foresee this? And what I mean by foresee this is, how did he not see that teams in the NBA weren't going to want draft picks and young, unproven players? It seems obvious to us now, but we were all sort of blinded by what happened in 06-07. Well, in 06-07, those guys weren't necessarily all unproven. Okay, Al Jefferson was an all-star talent. A lot of the rest of those guys were scrubs. Gerald Green and Al Jefferson ended up being the only two worth a damn. And I think that was sort of a cautionary tale, not just for Minnesota, but for the rest of the league. And not caution, don't deal with the Celtics, but I think caution in general, like, okay, if you have a big stud like this, a big stud player that you can get a big package of players and picks in return for, well, make sure you know exactly what you're getting. Don't just get wowed by a big exchange where you get all these young players, because most of them are probably going to flame out. And Sebastian Telfair and Ryan Gomes and many of those other, Theo Ratliff's expiring contract. I mean, there was a lot of junk in that trade. And I think the Celtics sort of assumed they'd just be able to do it again. And now here we are as they have to make this extra step now to sort of get all those pieces that they have, try and trade them for not a player of Kevin Love's caliber, but maybe one that you can match with another one and then sort of bring them all in together and then flip that package over to Minnesota and hope it's what they want. So here to discuss all of that with us, along with the rest of the dealings and goings-on here at NBA Free Agency, joining us from the Lowell Sun, one of my favorite guests, Mr. Matt Langoni. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Hey, Christian. How are you?
Doing fine, Matt. Just reading some of the papers this morning. Had no idea the Celtics were still in on Kevin Love. I sort of figured that whole thing was over with. Were you surprised to hear that they were still hot on his trail, or did you think that whole thing kind of dried up in the last couple weeks?
No, I thought I didn't think it went away. I mean, I think we were all kind of reactionary on draft night when Love didn't get traded and the Celtics didn't make any big move that night. I think our first reaction was to be like, okay, I guess Kevin Love is out of the picture right now. But after I slept on it and I woke up the next day, I was thinking that I don't think it's over yet. I think they're still going to try to do what they can. I think, Kevin Love has been Danny Ainge's target for months now. I think he just does not want to go through another. I don't think anybody wants to go through another 25-win season here. And Kevin Love kind of seemed like the logical guy that was in play that the Celtics would have a shot at. I don't think anybody really ever thought Carmelo Anthony had any intention of coming here.
Right.
LeBron James obviously would never come here. None of these high-priced guys like that ever have any intention of coming here. So Love has always kind of been the target. And I heard you talking about that. It's funny how we were kind of sold the bill of goods that, why wouldn't the Timberwolves want the Celtics package? That's
right.
The best package. All those draft picks, all those young guys. But, come on. That was kind of ridiculous. Why would Flip Saunders, coaching this team, want a few, assets that will help them 4 years down the road? It just didn't make sense. And I always thought that Golden State's package was a lot better, and even Chicago could offer a better package. So, Danny Ainge is going to have to get really creative here. He's going to have to involve another team, maybe two other teams, and he's going to have to get super creative here.
Well, according to these reports coming from the Globe that I read this morning, Matt, it seems like what they're going to try and do now is take their young players and take their future draft picks and try and get some guys in here, maybe not Kevin Love type talents, but at least a couple of guys who are NBA ready, have a couple of years under their belt, and can go to Minnesota and not completely embarrass themselves. But that sort of gets me wondering then, say they package some of these draft picks and they package some of these young players and they trade for, I don't know, Wilson Chandler, and they trade for Chandler Parsons. Sorry to say Chandler twice there, but they're just the first two guys who popped into my head. And then all of a sudden the Wolves say, no, we're good. And now all of a sudden you don't have your draft picks and you're stuck with these two guys. And isn't that like 10 times worse than the alternative?
Yeah, it's a big-time gamble. A guy like Chandler Parsons, if he goes to a team like Dallas or he goes to, a team that's close to a 50-win team, he's a really big help.
Yeah.
He goes to a team like Boston, he might make a difference of 3 or 4 wins, but he doesn't put you over the top.
He's Jeff Green. He's Jeff Green, maybe, if you're lucky.
Right,
he gets you.
right.
Yeah.
And actually, I think he is a much better. I think for the next 5 years, I think most teams would much rather have him than Jeff Green.
Okay.
But you're right. You'll get stuck with kind of mid-level talent that just doesn't do you any good. And the name that was floating around yesterday for the Celtics, which I almost fell out of my chair when I heard it, was Lance Stevenson.
Yeah.
That the Celtics have interest in him. And what is the deal here with guards? You lock up Avery Bradley for 4 years, $32 million. The only thing I can think with that Avery Bradley contract, I just didn't think financially it made any sense. And I think he's kind of a third guard who should play 20 to 25 minutes a night. The only thing I could think is that Danny has a feeling that Minnesota likes Avery Bradley, and by locking him up, it helps the money work in a future trade. And maybe they can toss him into a trade with Minnesota, and it works that way. But I was flabbergasted that they're going to pay him $32 million for 4 years. And if they're really going after Lance Stevenson, what is the deal here? What are you going to stock up? Last year it was power forwards. What's this year going to be? All guards? That's going to be the whole roster?
No, it won't be all guards, Matt. It'll be all guards who can't shoot. That's what it'll be.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. That's even worse.
It was power forwards with limited post moves last season, and this year it's going to be point guards who can't shoot or off guards who can't shoot. Just guards who can't shoot in general.
Not exactly how you want to build your team. I don't think that's how Greg Popovich and those guys like to build their team.
No.
I don't know about that.
I would imagine probably not. We're joined here by Matt Langoni of the Lowell Sun. Matt, let's move away from the Celtics here for a second because it's depressing, first of all. But second of all, because there's a lot of other things going on here, specifically in Miami. What are your thoughts on this situation here as LeBron James is set to give Dwayne Wade a comeuppance that Celtics fans have always sort of hoped that Dwayne Wade would someday get? It seems like is about to happen here because I think Bosh is going to Houston. I think LeBron's going to Cleveland. And wherever Dwayne Wade goes, he's going to be making a fraction of what he would have made if he didn't opt out. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
No, it's such unintentional hilariousness. It's just like this whole thing is unraveling. Chris Bosh, if it's true that Houston is giving him an offer of 4 years, $88 million, how is he not taking? Go take that. Go to Houston. What are you doing?
Before they
take
sober up,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. What are you thinking not? The reports that he's waiting to see what LeBron does. Go take your money. Go play on Houston. That's a championship contender. Mm-hmm. Go do it. And, Dwayne Wade, LeBron could really end up kind of putting the screws to Dwayne Wade here.
I think he already has.
Opt out. Yeah, I think Dwayne Wade's going to get his money in Miami regardless, whether it's long-term or, I think he's going to be in that organization the rest of his life, probably some kind of front office thing after he retires. So I think he'll still get his money. But what could end up happening is if Bosh goes to Houston, LeBron goes to Cleveland or elsewhere, it's Dwayne Wade with Josh McRoberts and Danny Granger. And that's not the big three you're looking for. So
no, it isn't.
The only thing I can think of here, too, that may come into play is we all know Carmelo's taking his time with this decision.
Right.
And if Chris Bosh ends up taking that deal to go to Houston, if he gets, loses patience and just says, I'll take it, even though I don't know why he's even being patient, he should be taking that money. If he does that, then maybe that opens the door for Carmelo to go to Miami. And then all of a sudden you get Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and Carmelo Anthony playing in Miami, which is probably, if you put them on a lie detector, that's probably what LeBron and Dwayne Wade want. I think Chris Bosh always seemed like kind of the odd man out there, and I think Wade and LeBron would love nothing more than Melo to join them in Miami, and then they could stay put and get their money and have that for a big three going forward. So that's the only thing, I think is preventing Pat Riley from pulling the rest of his hair out. I mean, I think he's just hoping that those guys will come to their senses and return, and or maybe Melo finds his way to Miami. But it's a crazy situation, what's going on.
Do you think LeBron goes back to Cleveland? Is that realistic?
I'll believe that when I see it. It just seems. I mean, I know they have Kyrie Irving, and I know they have some young talent, but it's a pretty poorly run organization.
Horrible,
yeah. Yeah, and it is the Eastern Conference, and if LeBron goes there, they are obviously a contender in the Eastern Conference, but they're still way behind. I mean, if he goes there, they're still way behind, I think, some of those Western Conference powers. I don't think they have the talent. The only other thing that really comes into play there is if LeBron goes to Cleveland, I think, right then and there, Cleveland becomes the front runner to land Kevin Love, which would change things. Because, they have Andrew Wiggins to trade. They have Dion Waiters to trade.
Yeah. They
actually have better assets to trade for Kevin Love than Boston does. So if LeBron does go to Cleveland, which I'll believe when I see, I do believe they become a front runner for Kevin Love.
Interesting. I hadn't even really considered that. That's certainly would be that would be fireworks right there. Wick Grossbeck's promising fireworks, but Gilbert would be supplying the fireworks there. Right. No kidding. We're talking with Matt Langoni here of the Lowell Sun. Matt, when you sort of look around the landscape of the NBA right now, is there any free agents who are still out there? Any guys who are sort of just floating around that no one's talking about that you can't understand why they're not talking about them? Are we missing something here? Is everybody sort of looking over with their tongues hanging out at LeBron and Carmelo and everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned one. I really like Chandler Parsons for the right team. I mean, like we said, I don't know that he changes the culture in Boston, but this is a guy that he's a restricted free agent, so Houston can match, any offer. But they're just kind of taking him for granted right now with all this Melo stuff and this Bosh stuff. And you would think that if Melo or Bosh or somebody goes to Houston, that means Chandler Parsons is out. Right. And I think he's a guy, that can really help a lot of teams. And I know Dallas has interest in him. And if they can add him, they've already added Tyson Chandler to their front court. That becomes, a front court of Chandler Parsons, Dirk, and Tyson Chandler. That's a good front court. That's a really good front court, I think. And the other one I think in play, obviously, there's been a lot of reports on him, is Pau Gasol. He's a little older now, but, I mean, he's still good for 17 and 10 on any given night. And if he goes to a team like Oklahoma City, that's a big game changer as well. I think if you put him with Durant and Westbrook and, and what they already have, that becomes an even better team. So I do think there's a lot of pieces still out there. I just think, because of the Heat Big Three and Carmelo and just the huge names that have been out there circulating, I think a lot of these other guys under the radar have just been kind of swept under the rug. But, once these pieces start moving, it's going to be even more fascinating.
Can you believe that Bosh was offered such a big contract to be technically the third guy on that team again?
It's just, I mean, it's unbelievable. The only thing more unbelievable than that is the fact that he hasn't accepted.
Right.
I mean, I can't grasp it. I mean, this guy, I think he's 30 or is close to 30, and this is $22 million a year to go play in a contender and not even have to be a 25 and 10 guy. I mean, I don't know what he's waiting for. And the other kicker is he's from Texas, so he'd be going home. I mean, it makes so much sense. And I actually think it's a great fit. I think it's actually, if the Rockets go for Bosh instead of Carmelo, I think that's a better fit for the Rockets. Because I don't think Carmelo and James Harden can share the ball together. I don't think those two guys can coexist and be the players they want to be.
I'm just looking right now. Adrian Wojnarowski just tweeted that Chris Bosh told Houston that he wants to stay in Miami. He said, I want to be in Miami and I want to play with LeBron. And then he goes on to say, quote, attributed to me on Fox Sports 1 feed a bit out of context, Bosch's preference remains with LeBron in Miami, but he's open to Houston offer. What in the world? I mean, like, he's opting out. The whole reason he opted out in the first place was to take less money so they could bring in a third person, right?
Right.
Get a bench together or something else there in Miami. Whereas in Houston, you're part of a big three. Harden, who's a very high volume scorer, and Dwight Howard, who's a big man that no other team has a big man like that. And you want to stay and play with LeBron after you saw what happened against the West. I can't imagine. I can't imagine what went on in that lunch where they all sat down there. For LeBron to have said to them, listen, I'm getting max money, but I want you guys to opt out and take less. And the fact that Bosch and Wade didn't tell him to go bleep himself is just unbelievable. I mean, I can't understand this. I can't wrap my head around it.
I just don't understand the mentality of Bosch right now. I mean, what is his obsession with playing with LeBron right now? I mean, it doesn't seem to matter as much to LeBron to play with Bosch as it does. I mean, I know that Bosch, in his mind, probably knows LeBron is the easiest ticket to titles and whatnot. And, LeBron's a great guy to play with because he's, such a great passer and facilitator and all that. But, I mean, come on, man. It is unraveling. You're getting offered a max deal, $22 million a year for 4 years to go play on a team that won over 50 games last year and be the third option, like you said. I mean, it just... none of it makes sense. I don't know, and I also don't understand the Heat, if those three guys do come back, even for less money, even if they take a pay cut, how they're still going to be able to build enough talent around them. I mean, the Spurs really exposed that team. And, I know Josh McRoberts and Danny Granger is probably an upgrade over, Rashard Lewis and whoever, Udonis Haslem or whatnot, but guys in the rotation. But I don't think it's enough still. And if you have three guys making that kind of money, I just don't think you can put the kind of talent around it that LeBron is looking for. And, in the back of my mind, I'm still kind of thinking, with all that said, LeBron does go back to Miami because, like I said, I just can't believe this Cleveland thing until I see it. But, I mean, it is just, it's unbelievable. I mean, the rumor mill in the NBA, there's nothing like it. It's the best rumor mill in sports. There's nothing better. And there hasn't even been a move made yet, and it's just been absurd.
Yeah, for all the people who complain about the players dictating where they go and, free agency and super teams and all that stuff, when it actually happens, when it's done and the season starts, it's exciting, but then it gets kind of lame towards the end. But, like, right now in the offseason, it's awesome. Like, this is awesome.
Right. I mean, they should be running a clinic. The NBA should run a clinic on how to stay relevant in the offseason because they know how to do it. I mean, they've mastered it. We've always known it's a star-driven league and a players' league, but they have mastered the idea of how to stay relevant when your season is not happening.
All right, Matt. Last question. You've been following the summer league at all? How are the young guys looking in the summer league? If you've seen it, I'm not sure.
I have. I've seen as much as I've been able to. Marcus Smart has had some trouble shooting. I think he was 2 of 8 in his first game, and then he was 3 of 15 yesterday. So obviously, I mean, we knew this. We knew he was going to have some shooting woes. But, he looks comfortable, and he's physical out there, and, he has his moments where he shows those flashes of why he was a lottery pick. James Young, all reports are that he's going to sit out the summer league this week. Mm-hmm. He's dealing with some injuries from a minor car accident, so they're just precautionary, keeping him out of the summer league right now. He'll be fine. Danny Ainge isn't worried about that, so they'll obviously see him enough over the summer. And I still maintain that I like those 2 draft picks. I don't know. Maybe those guys factor into future transactions. I don't know if Danny Ainge is going to ultimately use those guys to try to bring Kevin Love here. So who knows what their future holds. But, as long as they're in a Celtics uniform, I'm still a fan of those picks. Matt
Langone, thanks so much, sir. Great job as always. We'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
All right, thanks, Christian.
All right, take care. That's Matt Langone there of the Lowell Sun. You can follow him on Twitter at Matt Langone. That's Langone. Very, very fine writer and knows his stuff when it comes to the NBA. No question about that. All right, 603-883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900. Shoot us a text message over at 50352. Christian and King will be right back.
Steak and cheese fans, listen up. Quiznos Subs on Main Street in Nashua just came out with the Vince Special, which is a large spicy steak bomb for only $8.49. You get actual black Angus steak, with Genoa salami, mozzarella, sauteed onions and peppers, and chipotle mayo. So grab the Vince Special, large spicy steak bomb today at Quiznos on Main Street in Nashua.
Quiznos subs. Toasty.
The Nashua Silver Knights offer the best baseball experience in all of New Hampshire. The tickets are cheap, there's plenty of food and drink available, and the kids absolutely love it. Come down Thursdays for dollar draft nights, every Thursday night throughout the season. There's always fireworks on Friday, plus there's a kids zone and entertainment between innings. It really is a great place to watch a ball game this summer. For scheduling and more information, log on to NashuaSilverKnights.com.
Your home security is your defensive line, and the key to winning? Go wireless. Most alarms rely on your phone line. Burglars can defeat that in seconds with a pair of scissors. Simply Safe home security is smarter. Simply Safe uses a wireless connection. Scissors can't cut it, so you stay safe. Professional monitoring, just $15 a month. And there are no contracts to sign. Protect your home with the alarm that we trust on the Dan Patrick Show. Go to simplysafedan.com and save 10% today. simplysafedan.com.
Is a sports injury keeping you out of your favorite class or your student athlete on the sideline? If so, come to New Hampshire Orthopedic Center, where we keep bodies in motion. Our sports medicine team's board-certified fellowship-trained physicians can tackle any injury keeping you away from the activities you love. Trust the team the Manchester Monarchs trust. Doctors Bouvier, Gumas, Killy, Marino, Sohikian, and Velas have the expertise and experience you can depend on. Our physicians know how motivated you are to get back in action. They chose sports medicine because they love getting athletes back into their favorite activities. With 6 area locations, you don't have to leave your community to get the best care. NHOC is conveniently located throughout southern New Hampshire, with offices in Nashua, Manchester, Londonderry, Amherst, and Salem. New Hampshire Orthopedic Center. We keep bodies in motion. To learn more, visit NHOC.com. Again, that's NHOC.com.
Hey folks, Tom Rowe here for the good people at Infinity of Nashua. Right now at Infinity of Nashua, they're home to one of the most unique automobiles on the planet. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid gets an astounding 30 miles per gallon with a powerful 360 horsepower engine that gives you the performance you demand from a luxury vehicle. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid is priced, get this, below $50,000. Other comparable luxury vehicles can cost you twice as much. All Infinity vehicles are backed by a 4-year, 60,000-mile warranty and a powertrain warranty for 6 years at 70,000 miles. At Infinity of Nashua, they know your time is valuable, and when it comes time to service your vehicle, Infinity of Nashua has a fleet of loaner cars for you to use, so you're not waiting around for your car to be serviced. And the service department hand washes and vacuums your vehicle after every visit. Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at infinityofnashua.com. Once more, Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at infinityofnashua.com.
Wendy's presents Red in the Sing-Along.
Hey, got us some lunch.
I love Wendy's pretzel buns so much. I could sing. I'm the one who wants to be with you.
Me too. Pretzel bun, I know you feel it too.
Hey, ladies. Waited all this time, my hunger grew.
Everybody, just to take a pretzel bun.
Wendy's pretzel bun is back to be with you, paired with tender chicken or hot and juicy beef.
Now that's better.
Available for a limited time.
Hi, it's Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture. A recliner is built for one purpose, comfort. And my power recliners at only $3.99 each have taken comfort to a new level. With the touch of a button, recline to your perfect comfort position. In fabric or bonded leather everywhere you sit. All with my famous Bobopedic memory foam cushions. You can't get more comfortable. Power recliners only $3.99 each, in-store or online at mybobs.com.
Cool Sculpting is a breakthrough non-invasive procedure that noticeably eliminates fat without surgery. Cool Sculpting targets and freezes fat cells, causing their natural death in the treatment area. No incisions, no downtime. This is not a weight loss solution, but the results will last as long as you maintain a healthy lifestyle. Is Cool Sculpting right for you? Mention this ad for a free Cool Sculpting consultation and visit Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com or call 603-577-5559 today.
When major sports news breaks or covering play-by-play, ESPN New Hampshire is the #1 place to turn, according to the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters. This is ESPN New Hampshire. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
The Boston Red Sox struggle offensively continues. They could only muster 2 hits last night against the Chicago White Sox en route to a 4-0 defeat. The Sox are now 1-6 on the current homestand. In the loss, though, Clay Buchholz pitched well, and he's pitched well since coming off the disabled list, which has manager John Farrell feeling good about how Clay's pitching.
And with the exception of a 3-hitter span in the 4th inning, I thought Clay had powerful stuff for the full 7 innings of work, maintained his velocity. I thought he had definition to the 4 different types of pitches that he throws. On a night where we don't produce offensively, there's a difference in this one.
The Red Sox and White Sox will continue their 4-game set tonight. First pitch at 7:10 with pregame at 6:25 right here on ESPN New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats continue to stay red hot. They won their 5th in a row yesterday, their 11th in 12 games. They'll play the New Britain Rockcats tonight at home. First pitch, 6:05. And after a day off, the Nashua Silver Knights hit the road to Torrington. They'll take on the Titans. Make sure to tune in to all Silver Knight home games all season long on our sister station, WSMN 1590. And tune in all week long for chances to win tickets to this Sunday's Sprint Series at Loudon. I'm Rich Flair, and the Sports Center was brought to you by Infinity of Nashua, the official luxury car of the Boston Red Sox. Visit them online at infinityofnashua.com.
Local sports talk for the New Hampshire sports fan. This is ESPN New Hampshire. Christian and King.
Big thanks to Matt Langoni for jumping on with me there in that last segment. Great stuff from him as always. Got a little bit of news about the Celtics that we talked about, coming from Gary Washburn of the Globe this morning, saying that the hunt for Kevin Love's still very much on. And to that I say good. It should be. Because they're not doing any damn thing else. I mean, what have you heard not even a rumor, nothing. There's just nothing going on. Whenever it's that quiet, whenever there's that little activity going on, I have to assume that something's in the works. Because if nothing's in the works and nothing comes of this offseason, well, I think Celtics fans are going to be pretty well pissed off. Will they be right to be pissed off? Maybe, maybe not, because I'm one of those people that says you don't make a move just to make a move. I hate when GMs do that. I hate when Jeff Suppan comes over in a trade because they felt like they had to do something. So let's trade for Jeff Suppan. It worked out. Sort of. Actually, no, it didn't work out. He went to St. Louis. It worked out because he screwed up with the Cardinals in the World Series and they won the World Series. So it worked out in a weird sort of roundabout way. But it didn't work out for the Red Sox on the field. And that's just one random example, I know. It doesn't happen all the time, but I hate when it happens. I hate when they make a trade just to make a trade. That's amateur stuff. That's like Bush League, oh, I got to do something. Here, take this and we'll take that. Just doing a trade for the sake of making a trade. If it doesn't make you any better, don't do it. What's the point? And I certainly don't want to see the Celtics, and this is what really gets me. This is what really has me shaking in my boots over here as I read of these reports of the Celtics trying to acquire assets that they can then package together for Kevin Love, because the assets they have right now aren't exactly what you want. This makes sense in theory. It makes sense in theory that draft picks plus guys like Olynyk, guys like Sullinger, guys like Avery Bradley, guys with value, okay? Not scrubs. None of those guys are stiffs, okay? If we were talking about Gerald Wallace and Brandon Bass, okay, maybe we're getting more into stiff territory there. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about guys with, I think, pretty bright futures in the NBA. Bradley included. I think Bradley's already a pretty good player in the league. Good role player. I think Sullinger, fine role player right now, could grow into a force at power forward. A consistent, Kevin Love type player. Maybe not with the outside shot, but a consistent 22 and 11 type of guy. I think Sullinger has that if he stays healthy. I think he could become that. Kelly Olynyk, I think, could become a very good role player on a good team. These guys aren't worthless, but they're not worth Kevin Love. So what you do is you package them together along with some picks, and then you trade for a guy like Chandler Parsons. You can't trade for him because he's a free agent, but guys like that. Guys that are good and will make a team better, but aren't going to be a centerpiece that you can build around. Guys who have a little more experience than Kelly Olynyk and Jared Sullinger, and a little more to add offensively than someone like Avery Bradley. Guys who can give you 20 points. Jeff Green, but better. That type of guy. If you can go out and get that type of guy, a better version of Jeff Green, and then you start talking about packaging that with a Jared Sullinger or going out and getting another forward or doing whatever. Whatever it is. I'm not going to pretend like I know what Danny Ainge is thinking and who he's going to go for. Then you take those NBA-ready guys who aren't quite Kevin Love's level, and you flip them for Kevin Love. And you say, hey, you wanted guys with experience, you wanted guys who can come and play right now. Here you go, flip, enjoy. Now give us Kevin Love and let's end this whole painful process. But what happens if you trade Avery Bradley and you trade Jared Sullinger and you trade Kelly Olynyk and you trade all the picks and you get your Chandler Parsons or you get your, Aaron Aflalo, you get any of these guys, and then you knock on Minnesota's door and say, hey, Aaron Aflalo, Channing Frye, Chandler Parsons, what do you say? How about Kevin Love? And Flip Saunders says, nah. No, not enough. Sorry, not good enough. Next. All of a sudden, you're sitting there with your you-know-what in your hand and three guys who weren't enough to get you Kevin Love, and you've also just mortgaged your whole future. You've made your team significantly worse. You don't do that unless you know for damn sure that the players you get will be enough to get Kevin Love. Because if you mortgage the future to get a couple of middling guys who on their own wouldn't get you Kevin Love one-on-one, like straight up, and then you're stuck with them, oh, you really done it now. Now you got nothing. Now you got no assets, you got no picks, you got no future, you just got a 8 seed at best. An 8 seed at best, led by a couple of guys who couldn't be number ones on any other team. That what you want? Tread carefully, Danny. We're getting into some dangerous territories here. Gary Zen said this looks like desperation. Well, it is. And what happens when you get desperate? The stakes get a lot higher. That's what desperation generally leads to. Raised stakes. Very real consequences for these types of transactions. 603-883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900. Shoot us a text message over at 50352. Texter saying, hey, Christian, where's our World Cup soccer talk, you soccer mo? I don't understand what soccer mo means. Maybe that's supposed to say soccer mom. Let's mix soccer and sock stock. The Sox suck. Ole, ole, ole. Not bad. The Sox do suck. The reason why I haven't brought up the World Cup until right now, Texter, is because, well, Team USA is not in it anymore. I feel like that's kind of relevant, wouldn't you say? I mean, we still talk about the NHL playoffs when the Bruins get eliminated, but not with the same sort of, and if the Kings weren't in it, probably not nearly as much at all. You know, I'm going to watch this game this afternoon between Brazil and Germany. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I can't wait to watch it. But I'll be lying if I tell you I know exactly what's going on there or who the best players in Germany or Brazil are for that matter. I know Brazil's got a guy named Hulk, and I think that rules. I want to buy a Hulk jersey. In fact, I think I'm going to buy a Hulk jersey. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to go home, I'm going to go online, I'm going to buy a Hulk jersey. Because there's actually a guy on the team named Hulk. You know, in Brazil, they got the one name, like Nene or Pele or whatever. One guy's just name is Hulk. There's one guy named Fred. I don't know, actually. You know, you got the Fred jersey over here. You got the Hulk jersey over here. It's like the scales of justice. I don't know which one to get. Those are both pretty cool. Maybe I'll get them both. You know? Fred on Tuesdays, Hulk on Thursdays. That sort of thing. I only own one soccer jersey. And that soccer jersey is, you remember in the World Cup 04, I guess it was? Is that even possible? No, it couldn't have been 04. 06, maybe? Whenever it was when the French guy headbutted the Italian guy. When Zidane headbutted that guy Materazzi. You know what we're talking about with that crazy headbutt? He got him right in the chest. Looked like he caved in his chest. It was amazing. It was one of the best headbutts I've ever seen. A headbutt to a person's chest. I've never actually seen that move pulled off before. A headbutt to the chest with such incredible force and and precision, but he really got it in there. I had a bet going with a friend of mine that Italy would beat France, which they did. And if Italy did beat France, then he would have to buy me a Italian soccer jersey, and it ended up getting me one of the guy who got headbutted by Shaitan Materazzi, which I still have. I was wearing it this weekend. I like those soccer jerseys. Really let your pits breathe, you know? Air gets in there. It's nice. Anyway, that's about the extent of the soccer talk I had ready for today. I will watch the game. I'm interested in watching the game. But to say that because, I'm not opening the show talking about Brazil-Germany, that soccer is not popular in America, I mean, come on. Team USA is not in it, guys. Like, let's be realistic here. Is hockey not popular in America because people weren't really all that into the Finland-Sweden concession match? I don't think so. Hockey's still doing okay. Not that even really makes a difference. I mean, like in basketball, when the world, whatever that the Olympics or that other basketball tournament they have, the World Basketball Association, that thing. It's not the Olympics, but it's like it. They wear the Team USA jerseys, and the NBA players playing it. They lost a couple years in a row there to like Argentina and some of these other teams. When two teams that aren't Team USA are playing each other, and people aren't watching it, do you say, "Oh, the NBA is not taking off in America"? No, of course not. People want to watch Team USA. But I don't think it's just about watching Team USA. If it was just about watching Team USA, then you would think, like, in 2002, the World Cup would have been a much bigger deal. And it wasn't. It just wasn't. And that was about as patriotic as this country's ever been. So, I mean, yeah, you want to go ahead and continue to beat me up for saying that I think soccer's, from this point forward, gonna get a real major bump from this World Cup. Feel free. I mean, the time will tell. But rushing to say, falling all over yourself to say, oh, hey, you didn't open the show talking about Brazil-Germany. Soccer must not be very important. It's never going to catch on in America. Please. That's a horrible, horrible argument. It's just, it's horrible. If Team USA was playing in this and I opened up with the Red Sox and David Ortiz, you'd have a point. But they're not. It's Brazil-Germany. And I am neither Brazilian nor German, so I don't really care that much. I want to watch because it's a game between two good teams, and I like watching two good teams playing. Texter says, World Cup has maybe the best game going with Germany-Brazil. You open with the last place Sox. Thanks for proving Tom King's point that soccer is nowhere in the U.S. Texter, you're missing this here. It is the best game going. It's Germany and Brazil. Are you from Germany or Brazil? Do you think most of the people who are hearing my voice right now in southern New Hampshire are German or Brazilian? Because I do not. I don't think so. And if they are, I apologize. Lo siento. I don't know how to say I apologize in German. Actually, I just said that in Spanish, which is not what they speak in Brazil. So I'm sorry. I'm just going to stop before I dig my hole any further here. But, I mean, what do you want? Team USA is not in it anymore. If they were, we'd be talking about this game, no question. But instead, we're talking about the Red Sox because they suck, and David Ortiz went on a big rant about steroids. So yes, that's going to get first dibs on the headlines over a soccer match between two countries that none of us are from. Okay? Like, let's get a grip here. 603-883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900. Text in 50352. Christian and King will get back to the Red Sox. Your thoughts on that when we return. Don't go anywhere.
The Hanover Street Chop House has taken fine dining in the city of Manchester to a whole new level. We know about the food, the hand-cut steaks, the chops, the fresh fish, but now you can eat like a king at lunchtime as well with their new business lunch, which features 3 courses for just $15. Sip some wine at the piano bar or check out the new Raw Bar every Thursday. It's the Hanover Street Chop House, 149 Hanover Street in Manchester. Place your reservation at 603-644-CHOP. That's 644-2467 or visit HanoverStreetChopHouse.com.
Come to Bellman Jewelers in tax-free Manchester, New Hampshire to discover what the Bellman's Advantage is all about. Bellman's has always featured quality jewelry at a fair price with excellent service. Whether it's me or my husband, we always choose Bellman's because the majority of their finished jewelry and engagement mountings are manufactured in-house, eliminating the middleman, which saves us money. And of course, no sales tax. My husband knows to shop at Bellman's. Do you?
Bellman's Jewelers, located at 1650 Elm Street in Manchester, or visit them online at bellmans.com.
This is your NBC Sports Radio update.
The indecision in the NBA, and with today being the 4-year anniversary for LeBron James and the decision The indecision continues with reports out of New York that the Knicks are now concerned that Carmelo Anthony may be holding off on his decision to see if Chris Bosh heads to Houston, which would then open the door for Melo in Miami. As for LeBron, despite rumors of a return to Cleveland, LeBron is still set to meet face-to-face with Pat Riley sometime this week, and there are unconfirmed reports that last night LeBron was in Las Vegas hanging with D. Wade. Tuesday baseball is underway, a day-night doubleheader in Cincinnati. Jay Bruce, a two-run shot in the bottom of the first, and the Reds lead the Cubs 3-0 as they continue to bat in the bottom of the first. Interleague play tonight, Tigers will host the Dodgers. I'm Jeff Biggs, NBC Sports Radio.
And now, another golf confessional brought to you by Golfsmith. To avoid spending the day on the lake, a man told his family it was infested with sharks, so he could go to Hot Deals of Summer at Golfsmith, where you'll find the lowest prices of any golf store, guaranteed. And it's on dry land. During Hot Deals of Summer, save over $110 on a Garmin S1 GPS watch, now just $139.98. You'll know exactly how far you are from the green and save a lot too. Only at Golfsmith. Anything for golf.
Kid, if something in this facility breaks, bends, or bursts, Grainger's got our back. 20 cases of disc springs from Grainger.com, new rotary encoder ordered on Grainger's mobile app, a dozen splash goggles from the local Grainger branch. What more could you want in life? Grainger has over 1 million products for all our facilities' needs. 1 million. That's a 1 followed by 6 zeros, kid. Everything we need whenever we need it. Get it? Got it? Good. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by. Grainger.
The Nashua Silver Knights offer the best baseball experience in all of New Hampshire. The tickets are cheap, there's plenty of food and drink available, and the kids absolutely love it. Come down Thursdays for dollar draft nights, every Thursday night throughout the season. There's always fireworks on Friday, plus there's a kids zone and entertainment between innings. It really is a great place to watch a ball game this summer. For scheduling and more information, log on to NashuaSilverKnights.com.
This is ESPN New Hampshire, honored by the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters as the best station for breaking sports news and best station for live play-by-play in 2013. This is ESPN New Hampshire. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
After a day off yesterday, the Nashua Silver Knights will hit the road and head to Torrington to take on the Titans. Make sure to tune in to all Nashua Silver Knight home games all season long on our sister station, WSMN 1590. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats will take on the New Britain Rock Cats tonight. The Fisher Cats are going for 6 wins in a row. First pitch at 6:05. The Boston Red Sox will take on the Chicago White Sox after losing last night, dropping to 1-6 on the homestand. The Red Sox will try to improve offensively as they only had 2 hits last night for the second time in as many games. They've struggled offensively. The Red Sox and White Sox first pitch 7:10 with pregame at 6:25. The Boston Celtics fell to 1-1 in Summer League action yesterday. Celtics assistant coach Jay Larenga talked about what the C's rooks need to improve upon.
We have to move on. You know, we'll watch video and we'll learn from this. But I think the thing more than anything we talked about, Walter McCarty had a 10-year pro career because he was talented, but more importantly because he was a pro and he showed up every single day and he knew the right way to play. So that's what our guys have to learn. Being willing to step up.
I'm Rich Flair, and the Sports Center was brought to you by Hanover Street Chop House, the official steakhouse of ESPN NH, located at 149 Hanover Street, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Christian and King on ESPN New Hampshire, 603-883-9900.
603-883-9900, your phone number 883-9900. You can text in 50352. It's Christian and King. I'm Christian Arcand without Tom King today and for the rest of the week. You can reach me by text message at 50352, by phone at 883-9900, and of course, you can always tweet me at Christian Arcand, hashtag Christian and King, if you're into that sort of thing. Which some of you are, some of you aren't. I don't know. I don't judge. I got yelled at over the weekend by my family for Twitter. Because none of them are on Twitter. So they said to me, they say, you on Twitter? I said, yeah, I'm on Twitter. So why are you on Twitter? I said, well, it's part of the job, you know. I mean, when you're in media, you have to be on Twitter. It's very important. No, you don't have to be on Twitter. You know, when I was a kid, none of the journalists were on Twitter, and we got all the news just fine. And it's like, well, okay, but when you were a kid, there was 3 channels, and you know, Tom King was in college, so it's a little different than the way things are now. Now Twitter's a part of life. You have to tweet. You have to constantly be tweeting, and most people are constantly tweeting. And if you're tweeting for work, that's great. If you're one of those people who's just out there tweeting every little thing you do all day, no judgment here. I do think maybe your life's a little unfulfilling, you know? And if it's not unfulfilling, if you actually do enjoy your life, then take more time to actually enjoy your life and quit telling everybody how great it is all the time. That's what I think. You know, the best times you have are the times when you're not doing any of that stuff. I always sort of feel that way. You know, when I'm having a great time and then someone has to take a picture and put it on Instagram right then, it's always like, well, you know, if it was a really great time, we wouldn't all be stopping what we're doing and uploading everything to Instagram. And I know it's very fast, but you get my drift, right? Just trying to help you all live a little bit better. That's what we do here on Christian and King. 603-883-9900, 883-9900. That is your phone number. Red Sox, back at it tonight. We'll have the game for you right here on ESPN New Hampshire because we have all the games because we're contractually obligated to play them. Even though at this point, I think it's just torture. I mean, it feels like torture to me watching this team try and hit baseballs. When they get up to the plate and you got a guy like Scott Carroll, who is as big of a scrub as the Red Sox are going to meet this season. And I say that knowing damn well that they already faced Vidal Nuno. Scott Carroll made them look ridiculous last night. Ridiculous. 27 outs. 4 of them made it out of the infield. 4 of the outs. Scott Carroll did this to them. Chris Sale's going on Wednesday against who the hell knows. Supposed to be Ruby De La Rosa, but it's still not official. We don't know that yet. I don't even know who else is even an option. Alan Webster? I mean, who else is even there? It's got to be De La Rosa, right? And if that means he's up, then Mookie Betts is probably going back down. Which at this point, I don't even care. Has Mookie Betts even played since that first weekend? I feel like I've seen him like once or twice maybe. And he hasn't done anything. Okay, so like whatever. People talking about Mookie Betts going to come up here and save the day. No, he's not going to come up here and save the day. This team was not one Mookie Betts appearance away from turning everything around offensively. Hell, look at it this way. This team was struggling really bad offensively. Brock Holt came in, hit the cover off the ball. Was Willie Mays for like 3 weeks there, Brock Holt was. Couldn't get him out. And the offense still couldn't do anything. It's not like they couldn't drive him in. They finally get a guy who can hit leadoff, and he's out there and he's tearing the cover off the ball day in and day out. And the Sox are still losing these games 5-1, 4-0, 3-1, 2-0. Come on. The worst part of this, and I said this yesterday, I'll say it again. The worst part of this is they're trying. They're not dogging it out there. They're not quitting. When John Farrell comes out and says, we're not giving away at bats, he's right. They're not. They're not giving away anything. They're not making, they're not playing well and they're not hitting the ball, but they're not going up there and just watching pitches go by and going home and collecting their check. They're trying. They're grinding out at bats. They're working hard at the plate. They're working counts. They're fouling pitches off. They're showing decent plate discipline for the most part, I'd say. Numbers, I think, will back me up there. And that's what's making this so frustrating. If they were quitting and they were dogging it, fine. You'd say, well, at least they're dogging it. That's not what's happening. These guys are winners. David Ortiz is a winner. John Lester's a winner. John Lackey's a winner. Dustin Pedroia's a winner. These are not losers or guys with losing pedigrees. These are some of the best baseball players in the world getting paid an extraordinary amount of money, which they're earning, and which they are going out and trying hard to earn. Now, David Ortiz, you could say, doesn't try hard all the time because he doesn't always run everything out to first base. I would disagree with that, and my contention would be, yes, he doesn't always hustle out of the box because most of the time the other team is in a shift, and he hits a weak ground ball into the shift, busting ass to first base, he's likely to pull a hamstring or something. And I just have no interest in that. I'll take David Ortiz jogging to first or walking to first, whatever it is, on a ground out over a David Ortiz on the disabled list. And I'm pretty sure all of you would too. Although at this point, who cares? They're losing with him, they're losing without him. I mean, what's the difference? I just would rather see him out there. You think ticket sales are taking a dive right now? Imagine people coming out to see this team with no David Ortiz the rest of the year. And does that mean if he starts hustling out of the box, he's automatically going to get hurt? No, of course not. But why risk it? Why bother? He's going to be out anyway. Oh, it's such a bad example for the kid. You know what? If that's how you're raising your kids is to do everything David Ortiz does, then you're not raising your kids right at all. Sorry, but you're not. David Ortiz, you don't do everything David Ortiz does. If you can hit a ball like David Ortiz, great. But this is not, this is beyond that right now at this point with this team. But, it just kills me. It just kills me that we're talking about these guys in this way. That we're talking about multiple World Series champions, World Series MVPs, Cy Young candidates, clutch hitters, guys who go out there and bust their ass. Dustin Pedroia, John Lester, John Lackey. John Lackey's been a bulldog this year, save for a couple of starts here and there. And now he's killing all that goodwill by going out and talking about steroids and Nelson Cruz, dragging David Ortiz into the mix. I mean, this is just completely falling apart. And if you told me after the Red Sox won the World Series that by July 8th of next season, this whole thing would be on the verge of a complete and total meltdown, I would have laughed in your face. In fact, it seems funny now saying it out loud, but it's true. It's the way it is. Right now, the Red Sox are in the midst of a full-scale, team-wide, organization-wide breakdown, meltdown. One or the other. Same difference to me. That's what we're seeing here. We're not seeing a team that's just waiting to turn it around at the plate. We're not seeing a team that just is one guy away, one Mookie Betts away from going on a nice 8-game win streak. We're seeing a team in the midst of a full-scale meltdown. And the only thing that hasn't made this a bigger deal is the fact that the Rangers are going through an even worse one right now. That's it. Texas Rangers are just as bad, if not worse, than you are. Another team, another proud team that was good and recently in a World Series. Just absolutely assed out right now, just like the Red Sox. One of the worst teams in the American League and one of the worst teams in all of baseball. And you look at these guys, you look at these World Series winners and these MVPs and these clutch hitting, leaders in the clubhouse, and you just wonder, where's the pride? Where is it? Because it was not out there last night, not on the field last night, when Scott Carroll throws 6 innings of one-hit ball, shutting you out. Absolutely no pride there for this Red Sox team. Xander Bogaerts, okay, young player, Jackie Bradley Jr., I understand. They haven't won anything yet. They haven't made their mark in the league. They have really just the pride of themselves to play for, but nothing on their resume so far to really back up what they're going out there and doing. David Ortiz, Dustin Pedroia, John Led, the rest of you guys, you all do. AJ Pierzynski, Daniel Nava, Mike Napoli, Stephen Drew. I mean, what's it going to be here, guys? It's July. Early July. We have the whole rest of this month. And then we got all of August. And then we have all of September. Are you prepared to continue supporting this team through those months? Because honestly, I'm not. As a fan, no. This is not a good enough product for me. I am dissatisfied as a consumer of Major League Baseball and a fan of the Boston Red Sox. I'm sorry. And I'm not blaming the management. It's not like Baltimore where they kept slapping these crap teams together. I'm blaming the players, 100%. Have a little pride. Maybe don't let Scott Carroll shut you out or Vidal Nuno shut you out. You're better than that. At least we all thought you were last year. Chad Finn joins me next hour, top of the hour. Maybe he can breathe a little life into this because I'm losing it here, folks. Scott freaking Carroll. Christian and King, we'll be right back.
CSA Graphics offers the best screen printing, embroidery, and promotional items in the area. Everything is done in-house, which allows CSA to make just one or thousands of items. Whether it's t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, or uniforms, CSA will increase your brand awareness and get the word out about your company. CSA Graphics considers customer service their top priority. Gary and his staff work directly with you to create your printed version in the most efficient and affordable manner possible.
Call CSA Graphics at 978-577-6427 or visit csagfx.com.
If you haven't been to Canopy Lake Park lately, you're missing out on a whole lot of affordable fun. Canopy has something for every member of your family, with over 85 rockin' rides, cool games, and awesome attractions. All for one low admission price that covers a full day and evening of family fun. And the best part? Canopy Lake Park is so close by, you'll want to visit again and again.
Canopy Lake Park in Salem, New Hampshire is open every day with over 85 rides, games, shows, and attractions, including our wild roller coaster, Untamed. Plus, don't miss Canopy's live tribute to Madonna, tribute to One Direction, and tribute to Michael shows. Find discount coupons at participating McDonald's, Market Basket, Tedeschi food shops, and Rite Aid locations while supplies last. Canopy Lake Park is located in Salem, New Hampshire, off exit 2 or 3 from Route 93. Parking is free. For directions, hours, and show details, visit canopy.com.
So come on, take your family to Canopy, just for fun.
It's time to stop worrying about driving too many miles and eliminate mileage constraints. Holloway Motorcars of Manchester is proud to announce the bold changes to the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned program. Introducing unlimited confidence from Mercedes-Benz. What does that mean? Now all Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned come with unlimited mileage warranty. Yes, unlimited miles. There's more. 2.99% financing, 2 payment credits, and limited time offer for free prepaid maintenance when you finance a 2010, 11, or 12 certified C, E, M, and GL class from Holloway Motorcars of Manchester. Yes, 2.99%, 2 payment credits and prepaid maintenance, and unlimited mileage warranty. What are you waiting for? The time to buy your certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz is now. These offers are time sensitive, so don't miss out. Visit us in person or online at benzcars.com. That's benzcars.com. Offer valid to qualified buyers through Mercedes-Benz Financial. 2 payment credits and prepaid maintenance valid in specified models only. See dealer for details. Restrictions may apply. benzcars.com.
The Nashua Silver Knights offer the best baseball experience in all of New Hampshire. The tickets are cheap, there's plenty of food and drink available, and the kids absolutely love it. Come down Thursdays for dollar draft nights, every Thursday night throughout the season.